Hi Taurus, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your monthly reading for March. I hope you guys are all well. I do want to take a quick second just to let you know that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Taurus. So Taurus, what we're going to do is start with your current energy, and then we're going to look at the month of March week by week, all the way up to the end of March. So we are going about 4 weeks into the future, so you guys might want to jot down some of these things just to see if they do occur. But more or less, if you jot them down, you don't like the way that the energy is reading, you now have the power to look at that and say, you know, what can I do to more positively affect the energy? Or if you do like it, to kind of juice it up even more. Remember, you're always in control of your own life. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Taurus? What would you like Taurus to know for the month of March? All right, Taurus, you're starting out with the Devil, and it is crossed by the Four of Pentacles. Now, you could be dealing with somebody that you're extremely attracted to. This could also be somebody you've been holding on to for a while, but there could be something here that's really toxic in your life, either with someone else or within yourself. But I do see you kind of holding on to some toxic energy. And I'm also seeing here that you're a little guarded about this as well. Show me what has happened in the past. All right, Nine of Wands. So, yeah, you have some trust issues with somebody here. I feel like you've been trying to overcome something. I feel like whatever this is has been going on for quite a long time, and you may be having a difficult time overcoming it, but it is definitely something toxic. Why is all this happening? Well, we have the Two of Swords in the reverse. This indicates a decision. You've made some sort of decision here. Show me what's on your mind. Show me what's on Taurus mind. King of Cups reverse. You're kind of closing down. Now, you could be thinking about a water sign, a Pisces, Scorpio, or a Cancer sign, but this is kind of the energy of you feeling like it's not really safe to love. You've dealt with something really toxic. You're not past it. You're still kind of holding on to that, and you're just exhausted here. And so I feel like you've decided, you know, even though you have feelings and emotions, you feel like maybe it's just not safe. It's not safe for you to open up to love. Show me what's happening in March. Show me March. All right, so there are going to be changes, but those changes are going to be brought about by conflict. Show me how Taurus is showing up. Now, that could be internal conflict or it could be external. You're showing up here as wanting a stable new beginning. It's also telling me that you might receive a sudden influx of money in March as well. Show me the energy coming towards Taurus. Show me the energy coming towards Taurus, please. The Seven of Swords reverse. So the energy coming towards you is somebody that, you know, is not trusting. There's a sense of a lack of trust. It has to do with this decision that's been made here as well. Yeah. So they've made a decision. You've made a decision. There could have been something toxic that occurred between the two of you. It's now out in the open. But this, whoever this is that's coming towards you, they have a lack of trust. Let me see Spirit's advice. Yeah, Spirit's saying be honest, be direct, especially with your communication. Let me see the outcome. Show me the outcome. All right, so we have the King of Wands and we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, so basically by the end of the month, you're accepting only somebody who is willing to commit, somebody who is stable, somebody that is basically providing stability within, you know, the connection. You're also very empowered here. You are no longer, so this could even be you providing that commitment, but you're no longer in and out. There's a decision that is being made, and it's to provide consistency, stability. It looks like your money is stabilizing too by the end of March, which is exceptionally good as well, but you're feeling definitely very empowered here. So, bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Swords in the reverse. This is underlying energy, Taurus, and this is indicating that at some point here, you got your heart broken. It could have involved some third-party energy, but it didn't have to. It just definitely indicates that at some point your heart was broken and now there's healing. And that healing is taking place based upon a decision that you made to do so. So let's clarify. Spirit, why is the Devil here for Taurus? Knight of Cups in the reverse. So that toxic energy is telling me that you don't feel safe to love. There's somebody that you have feelings and emotions for, and you have for a long time. You've been holding on to this person, but you don't feel safe to love. And I'm seeing it in several different places. So they could have been toxic, I don't know, but this is showing me that the toxic energy for you is that you don't feel safe to love. And why? Well, because you experienced a definite and immense loss. You're also feeling unsupported by close friends or family. You feel very guarded around these people. And so you're not really giving to them either. So it's not just within, relationship that you're not expressing yourself. You're also not expressing yourself to close friends and family. You're kind of closing yourself off here. Walling yourself off. Why is the Nine of Wands here? The Knight of Swords. There could have been an argument. Somebody may have said something that caused you to pull back sharply. I do feel like there was some very sharp and yet truthful communication, but it caused you to not really trust other people. There's definitely trust issues. Why is the Two of Swords here? Why is the Two of Swords here? Page of Wands reversed. Yeah, if you were with, if there was somebody else new in your energy, you've decided to, end that. That person, it looks like somebody new might have been in your energy, but you decided they weren't for you. I'm also seeing here that there's an energy of, a decision being made about somebody that may be younger than you, or they may just be more immature. You may feel like this person, throws tantrums when they don't get their way. You've kind of been holding your tongue about this for a while, but I feel like a decision here is being made. Let me look at your thoughts. Show me what Taurus is thinking about. Ooh, you're thinking about love. So you want love, Taurus. That's the thing. You want love, but you've experienced heartbreak. And until you heal that heartbreak and, open your heart up, it's going to make it very difficult. You want the love. There's somebody in particular you're thinking about that you want to have either a new beginning or a beginning period with, and yet you won't express yourself. You don't trust it. So let's look at March and see what's happening. Show me March for Taurus, because I do see you going into March feeling extremely conflicted. Show me March for Taurus. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to gather your cards. Some of them flew. Hold on. Wasn't expecting that. All right, Taurus. Give me just a second here. All right, Five of Cups, the Empress, Four of Swords, Justice in reverse. There's strong Libra energy here. You have the the Seven of Cups. You have the King of Swords reversed. You have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Queen of Swords, the Hierophant in reverse, Ace of Swords reversed, the Strength card, and Temperance in the reverse. So you're entering into the month of March, and I feel like you have a lot of conflicted feelings, okay? On the one hand, you're feeling sad. You're looking back at the past. You're feeling a bit unloved. On the other hand, you know that you have value and you have worth, and you know that you can attract to you what it is that you want. So there's this energy of you kind of going back and forth in your mind. Now, some of you are in conflict with someone. It could be another Taurus or it could be a Libra. I'm getting a lot of strong Libra energy. But what I'm seeing here is that conflict is going to bring about changes. In the first month or first week of March, though, I see this conflict. I see you kind of taking a step back. This could be somebody you've placed on a pedestal as well, but you feel like you're not being treated justly, and it's creating some confusion. So I see in that first week that you kind of pull back and you question the connection. You're in non-communication because you're thinking about things. You're trying to, come to terms with things. There's some confusion about it. In the second week of March, I do see, especially if you are involved with something not financial, but something legal, there could be something that goes against you, but it could be because of a lie. Yeah, there's something legal that may go against you in that second week of March if you have legal issues. If not, there is a sense of injustice and confusion. And it is related to somebody being untruthful, somebody not telling you the truth. And I do feel like by the middle of the month, there's this sense of anger. There's a sense of feeling stuck in that anger and confusion, not really able to move forward. You could be moving more in your feminine energy, but neglecting your more masculine energy. So I do feel like there is an injustice here in the second week that is going to make you angry. I see anger and stuck energy, confusion in the middle of the month. In the fourth week, I do see you kind of opening yourself up to talking to someone. I feel like you kind of let go of the anger, but there's still a lot of stuck energy, and this has to do with an ending. You're not really clear about things. There's an ending here. There's a need for you to get maybe even some advice, but I feel like you may not be open to it, or if you do get the advice, you don't like the advice that's given. And so in the fourth week, there's a sense of discussion, there's a sense of honesty, but it doesn't make you feel any better. In fact, it's almost like you're saying, okay, well, you gave me the truth, but now I don't want to talk to you. And I have no clarity really on the situation. I also feel like it may be revolving something to do with an ending where there was a lie, or it may be revolving around a lack of commitment. Regardless, in the fourth week of March, I do see you working on yourself, recognizing that there's a need for you to heal and to balance out your emotions and your feelings. So I feel like you kind of pull back. I feel like you kind of focus on yourself, and it takes a lot of courage and strength for you to do that. So there's a need here for you to, and you're recognizing it, a need for you to heal. So let me see. Show me how Taurus is showing up in this reading. Yeah, that's too many. Show me how Taurus is showing up in this reading. Okay, so Taurus, you have the 8 of Coins, you have the 10 of Swords reversed, and you have the 9 of Swords reversed. So I do feel like you're definitely working very hard, and I do see a sudden influx of money coming in for you, but it's going to be because of the efforts that you're putting in. You could be avoiding, the painful experiences that you've been doing, and possibly even avoiding healing by pouring yourself into work and money. I do see healing happening, though. Again, it's going to be in the latter half of the month, but You exit March feeling so much better. You're going to be sleeping better. A lot of the anxiety you've been experiencing over this betrayal, over this ending, over this pain, it's going to be relieving. It's going to be lessening and alleviating. But it's because you're looking at it and you're actually putting the work into healing yourself. So I do like that energy. Let me see the Seven of Swords in reverse. Show me the energy coming towards Taurus. Show me the energy coming towards Taurus. All right, so we have the Two of Cups reversed. We have the World. And we have the Two of Wands reversed. So, yeah, the person coming towards you has some trust issues as well. There is a feeling from them that perhaps there was some sneaky business that was going on, that they feel that's why this relationship ended. However, they want to put an end to this cycle and begin a new cycle. There is a little bit of an issue that they feel like you're choosing someone or something over them. So this is definitely the person here from the past that you had this very painful experience with. You've both been very hurt. And you both have trust issues, so there's a lot of mirroring that's going on here. But this person wants to close that cycle out. And I do also feel like, you know, this person, they want to jumpstart their life again. They may have some fears about what kind of a choice you're going to make. They may have some fears about choosing you, if it's going to lead them back down that path towards, you know, deceptive behavior. So let's see Spirit's advice. We have the King of Swords. I mean, whoever you're dealing with, I feel like you have both have these issues of trust, like trust issues. All right, so we have the High Priestess in reverse. The Queen of Cups. Eight of Wands. And the Lovers reversed. So Spirit is saying you need to trust your intuition, especially with regard to matters of the heart. You know, there has to be open and honest discussion back and forth from both sides, particularly if you have a choice between two people, or if it's a big decision that you need to make with regard to love. Spirit is basically saying here that there is a soulmate that you need to open your heart to, that you have to trust your own intuition and be honest and communicate openly and honestly with that person, particularly about your feelings, and be willing to hear what they have to say as well. So, and I have to say, I mean, that's really good advice. That's pretty solid. Let me see your outcome. Show me the outcome for Taurus at the end of March. All right, so we have the Sun, we have Judgment, and we have the Five of Wands. Now, that's so funny because I thought I saw the Five of Wands somewhere else. Oh yeah, it is. It was at the beginning of the month. So you have conflict that creates change at the beginning of the month. You have conflict that creates change at the end of the month. I don't know if you and this person tend to have a lot of conflict or not, but I do feel like you're conflicted about committing to this person. You're conflicted about being in relationship with this person. You've questioned whether or not this person is a player. And I feel like by the end of the month, you're going to get the clarity that you've been looking for. This is what's relieving you of all this anxiety. I feel like that clarity is going to make you really happy. You're going to feel very content, very empowered. And even though you have all of that clarity, even though you're happy, there's still this like niggling doubt. You know, it's that there's just such a lack of trust that's here. I do see you coming back together with this person. I do. I feel like there is a reconciliation. I feel like it's going to make you happy, but you are the only person, Taurus, that's ever going to be able to fully, you know, conquer your own fears and your own, you know, conflicted thoughts. And I definitely see that that is still affecting you, but I do feel that you're going to be much happier. And as you heal, it takes a lot of courage to heal. As you heal, as you come into your power, as you become happier, as you see things more clearly, I do feel like more of, you're going to have more trust. You're going to have, more ability to lean into relationship instead of walling your heart off. Because I can see that you do want that. You want it, but it's almost a fear that if you do that, you're just going to get hurt again. But I don't think that's happening. I don't. Bottom of the deck is the moon in the reverse. This is underlying energy. And it does tell me that healing is going to bring about clarity for you. Things that you felt were hidden will be revealed to you. A lightening of your mood, a more sense of being empowered and in control. So as you heal, that's when your clarity comes, and you may be even having an epiphany of the heart. All right, Taurus, I'm going to pull an oracle for you. I'm using my Foxfire deck. I love this deck. All right, so for Taurus, let's see what your advice is. It says, beneath the surface. It's number 39. It says, beneath the surface. So let's read that. Hang on just a second. There is so much within the world that can be misread when we look upon the surface. When we see with over-accustomed eyes the world around us, we cannot truly see what is there. We need experience and depth and perceptive attention when we seek to truly know something. And so this card is urging you to go beneath the surface, which is what this beautiful mermaid is preparing to do. It can be easy to glide above and to avoid the depths, or to fail to see the true power of something. Because we look upon the ocean and see its calm, we can underestimate its strength. And this is what you're being asked to do. Do not go lightly into deep emotional waters, but know their strength and life-changing power by diving beneath the surface. Know that as you go deep, you will encounter currents and the power of the ocean, the emotional world above you. But it is not the time to stay on the surface. So many others feel this is adequate, and their lives are in many ways satisfactory. But to know the true potential of yourself and of your life, you will need to take a deep breath and dive deep. There is no need for fear or panic. Remain calm, no matter how challenging it can seem to be beneath the world in which others seem content to live. This life is not for you, my friend, and nor are the ailments and personal stunting of growth that others experience over and over because they never found a way to go beneath the apparent nature of reality and go deep within. This being of the Kitsune realm now asks you to join her in the quest for the hidden depths of life. Know you are seeking the truth about your own soul, and that is a reward worth the risk. So in tarot, water is generally all about emotion. So this is asking you, Taurus, to go beneath the surface, to look deeper, to immerse yourself in the emotion and find the healing that's there. That there's actually a deep well of strength beneath calm, okay? So I think that that's really good advice. I hope that this has been helpful. If you have resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hype the video if you get the opportunity. Until I see you in your next reading, Taurus, know that you are loved, and namaste.